Hello guys, welcome to another video. In today's video, we are going to talk about how to build an MVP. What are the steps that we need to take to build a successful minimum viable product? When we are thinking about building a tech product, the first thing that comes up into our mind is that what is the idea I should be working on? What are the ideas I should be considering for building an application? From where I can get an idea? So when if you are looking for an idea, the best thing you can do is that you can look at the problems that you are facing in the daily basis. You can look at the problems which are faced by your family members or the relatives or the colleagues in your office. So these people can tell you about the problems they are facing, and then you can find out if the technology can help in solving their problems. If you find out that if this problem can be solved with technology or not, then it means that you have found a successful idea. Once you have found the idea, the next thing which comes up into your mind is that if this idea is going to be the one which people need or not. Is this the idea for which people will be willing to pay or not? So how you can verify if people will be willing to pay for this idea or not? You can show the solution to them, and if they agree to sign up for the product, it means that they are willing to pay for the product. That is a great idea. You can look into this and you can work on this. So once you have validated your idea from your family members and from your colleagues, now you have to find out if this problem is faced by other people too. How you can find out if other people are facing the similar problem and people are interested in your solution too or not? You can do that by just setting up a basic landing page which lists down all the features that you will add into the upcoming product that you are going to build. So it will have a waitlist addition option too. So what you can do, once this page is set up, you can run an ad campaign on Facebook or on Google. So if people will be interested into your product, they will go to the landing page that you have built and they may sign up for the waitlist. You may have to do a little bit marketing for that, but you will be able to find out if people are interested into your product or not. So once you have validated your idea, the next step is to write down all of your specifications that you want to build into your application. So for writing down the specifications on the document for the features that you want to build into the application, you have to make sure that you include only the must-have features at the MVP stage. For example, let's take an example of a communication application. In a communication application, it is essential that two people can communicate. They can do chat on the application. So this is the main feature. If this is not available, then you are not solving the problem of communication between people. So you need to include that feature into the application. But there can be other features like file attachment. File attachment is one thing which can be added later on into the application too. So this is a should have feature which you can add later on too. So you have to categorize your features into must have features, should have features, and could have features. So for example, there are must have feature is the chat functionality into the application. Should have feature is the file attachment feature which can be added post MVP stage too. The third feature can be an AI assistant which can summarize all the communication which is done with people. So this feature is one thing which can be added later on, and it's not required feature for launching the application into market. So in this way you can find out if some feature is essential into the product or not. One important fact that I would like to share with you is that all the big applications, when they were launched, they were just containing the basic features into them. They were not having a lot of features into them. Let's take an example of Amazon. Once it was launched, it was just focused on book selling option into the application. They were not having a lot of these categories that they have nowadays. Similarly, if you visit their page, if you see their page, you will see that it was a very simple page that they launched at that time. But with time, they have added a lot of categories into them. So they are successful because they have started very minimum in the start and they have scaled it later on. Same approach you can use into your application too. You can just focus on a small segment of people so that you don't have to spend a lot of money on marketing your product. Similarly, you can just focus on a small market so you can add features later on into the application, and you can be more focused when you are launching your application. So the next step, once you have found out your idea, once you have created the specifications, once you have found out what you have focus on, now the next step is to build the technology. Next step is to build the product, actual product. When you're thinking about building the actual product, you cannot take a lot of time in building the application. You cannot take even months in building the application. You have to do that in 2 weeks. And how you can achieve that? The best way to do is to use a no-code and low-code approach. No-code, low-code is like an approach of development where there are like pre-built components which you can utilize for building your application quickly. That's the approach that you can use. It can speed up your development up to 10 times. So for example, if there is an application which can take 10 months in building the application, you can build that into like 1 or 2 months quickly by using a no-code and low-code approach. So when you are thinking about building an application, one question that can come up into your mind is that either you should build your application yourself or you should outsource it to someone else. If you are thinking about building it yourself, there can be a pros and cons of this. For example, if you build it yourself, you may not be able to find a lot of time to spend on sales and marketing of the product. So that is one thing that a CEO should be focused on. They don't have time to focus on technology. So if you find that you can be, doing both of the things at one time, then you can do it yourself. Otherwise, you should be outsourcing it to someone who can do this better. Second is that if you try to build it yourself, there is a learning curve associated with this, and that depends on your technical background. If you have a technical background, you can build your application quickly. If you don't have technical background, you will have to learn the technology to do that. I have explained into another video what are the technologies available and what technology you should be using for your specific scenario for building the application. So once the application is like you have chosen an agency or you have decided to build it yourself, the first thing to focus on is the user interface and user experience of the application. You can design that into a software named Figma. Figma is a place where you can drag and drop and build the UI and UX of the application, and you have to focus on this part a lot, because once a user comes on the platform, they will be interacting later on, but first they will have a look into the application. They may use it from their mobile, they may use it from their browser. In all the cases, interface of the application should be great. So you need to focus on this a lot. The next thing that you have to focus on is that once it is built out, you have to reiterate, you have to gather the feedback, you have to do a lot of things. Once an application is developed, now it's time to gather the feedback from the people who have signed up for the waitlist of your product. You can show them the product and gather feedback. They will provide you an honest feedback about the application. That feedback will be very helpful to share with the development team so that they can improve it further. You need to have a commitment with the development team that they will keep on improving the product and they will keep on adding more features based on feedback that you gather from your clients. That is one thing. Also, you can hire some quality assurance people who will make sure that all the features which are developed by the development team, are they working properly or not. They can also give you a better feedback about the application. Once the feedback is gathered, shared with the development team, they will reiterate it, they will add more features. And if people get willing to pay for the product, that is a good sign for you. Once they start paying, that money you can utilize for adding more features into the application. Next thing that you can do is that you can install Google Analytics on your application too. That will help you understand where people are going on the application and if they are signing up for the application and at which stage they are leaving the product and if they are not signing up on the application. So at that stage, you can, if the pricing is the issue for people to try the product, then offer a trial, free trial to them so that they can come on the application and they can experience what you have. And also the last thing that you need to do is that you have to list down your product on multiple platforms. Like you can list down your product on Product Hunt, and there are many other platforms, B2B marketplaces, where you can list down your product and you can gather positive feedback from your customers, ask them to provide a review. Those reviews are going to be very helpful for you to grow your application, because people trust those applications which have great review, 5-star reviews, and you can, that's why, list down your application on these platforms and gather reviews from them. And at the end, as your application is successfully launched now and it has, MVP is ready, now you can scale it further. So now you have the clear understanding about how to build the application, how to launch it into market, and how to gather feedback on that. So now you can use the same understanding and learning to build your application and launch it into the market. Thanks for watching this video, and stay tuned for the upcoming videos that we will create. Best of luck for your future product development. Thank you.